Hey there everyone, hope you're doing fine. My name is Rohan and welcome to this Git and GitHub complete guide. Without wasting much time, let's move on to the next slide and see what is Git. So the first question lies before us is what is Git? So I quoted the official definition from the official site of Git, which says Git is a free and open source. Free is it means free, open source is the source code of Git is also open to anyone. Distributed version control system, we are gonna tackle this distributed VCS in the next slide. And what does it mean? So designed to handle everything from the small to large project with sensi and speed. So this is the bit jargon definition for beginners to understand. So I'll be giving you a 3-word definition for Git that will clear everything about Git. Not that you're thinking, it is version control system. So, as it sounds, it is a version control system. It is a system that controls the version. As simple as that. So, we'll be moving to the history of Git first. Who created it and why it was created? The first question is who created it? It is the same guy, Linus Torvalds, created Linux and brought revolution around the world. And why he created it? For the development of the Linux kernel. Let me tell you one thing, Linus Torvalds started the development of Linux, but most of the source code is written by the other developer as well. So hardly the 5% or 10%, even lesser than that is written by Linus Torvalds. Everything is managed by the other developers who contribute to the open source and develop it further. So while developing the Linux kernel, he found that there are a lot of developers contributing to the project and it is very difficult to handle its development. So he dragged his mind towards the version control system and ideas of something like Git. So he brought Git to make the development process easier. So there are other alternatives as well for Git, such as Subversion or Mercurial, but in this guide we are going to talk about Git and GitHub. Moving further, we are gonna look at a very big problem that often faced without version control system. So I'm gonna take example from the designer perspective, but same can be applied to the coding perspective according to you. So let's start with the simple example. Imagine you have a designer or you are a designer who is creating a logo for any event that is happening around. That is in Photoshop, of course. So everything designed will be saved as a PNG file, that is a image file. So let's understand that the event coordinator tells you to design a logo for the event. So you design a logo and save it as design.png. Further, you give the logo and they find out there is some mistake in the logo or they need some changes. So again, they tell you to design some another logo or do any further enhancement. So you do some changes and you get another design and you save it as design final png, right? Again, another event coordinator, suppose senior event coordinator comes in and tells, no, this design was not nice, you need to again change something and bring it to some form that he wanted. So the designer saves the file name as design all final png. I hope that designers who are watching this or even who have ever used the Photoshop can relate this. So this is design all final. So again, a higher authority comes in and tells that no, this logo is still not fine, further enhancement should be made. So designers again made some changes and name it as design super final, and this process goes on. So this is very hard to track various designs and things and saving more files. So suppose there are 4 changes, so you will be having 1, 2, 3 and 4 files. So it is very difficult to track. So let me bring you a simple example in the coding perspective. Imagine you are working as a developer in a company or you are building your own app. So you have a project manager that gives you an app without payment gateway. This PG stands for payment gateway. For simplicity, I have written PG. So imagine he gives you an app, or you are building your own app that is not having actually a payment gateway. So you want to integrate a payment gateway. So you move on further and write 1231 lines of code, that is just a number, and which is spread across 7 different files. So you get a app with payment gateway. So that's good. You have a payment gateway, you have the app. But now the problem is, after some time you feel that the payment gateway is not working properly, or your manager comes in or say, no, this payment gateway is not sufficient, we need to shift to a payment gateway Y or Z. This X payment gateway needs to be removed from the app and Y should be integrated. So if you don't have a version control system, this app code was traversed to this app code without any controlling. What does that mean? You don't have control to this 1231 lines of code. That means you need to manually go to this 7 different files and change these lines, uncomment it or delete it to get back this version. But one important point is here, the Git comes in and solve this problem with the help of commit IDs. So we'll look at that, how Git solve this problem with the help of SHA based commits. So what Git does is it tracks the changes with the help of commit. So moving on further, we'll see to a bigger picture of version control system and how it works. So imagine you're having an event management website and there are various developers that are having their own expertise, are working in this website to solve the different use cases. So let's consider you have 3 developers working on the website. One is working on bookings, other are working on UI integration, another way working on payment gateways, and there might be more developers as well. So each developer have their own local repository where they edit and push to remote repository that this website is having. So this is what happens in the real world scenario. You have many developers, you have a remote repo, each developer have their own local repo where they edit and commit and push the changes to the remote repo, where this remote repo used to build that website and push to the server. This is how it works. There are many other issues as well, where suppose this UI integration engineer is pushing to a file that is also changed by this engineer who is working in bookings. So there comes a merge conflict that we'll be looking later on in the Git and GitHub complete guide. I hope you have idea about Git now and what is it and who created it and why he created it. So there were many problems we look at, and furthermore we'll explore further Git, and we'll start with the installation of Git and using Git to track changes in our folder structure. So do hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon for be updated with my latest tutorial like this. Thank you.